Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of GyalDem City. Obviously it's a little bit later today because we're going to do kind of an Everton Man City preview, the game will take place after this. I'm joined by my fabulous co-host Rose. We're just going to quickly, before we go on to Everton, we're obviously going to touch on the Champions League draw. We've been drawn against Dortmund. What are your thoughts on that, Rose?
I don't know how to feel about this draw. I mean, I'm happy we avoided the English teams. I didn't want Liverpool based on past. So I'm happy we didn't get Liverpool, and also I'm happy we didn't get Chelsea because, under Thomas Tuchel, I think they've been really good. They're not conceding a lot of goals. Yeah, they might not be scoring that many goals, but defensively they're solid, and I think it's only a matter of time before they start scoring goals as well. I'm happy we avoided the English teams, but then it's like, why didn't we get Porto? Why didn't we? I would have actually taken Real Madrid over Dortmund season. So yeah, we've got Dortmund. I don't know how to feel. I mean, I think it's gonna be a tough one for us. Yes, I know that Dortmund concede goals. I think they conceded like 4 goals against Sevilla over the 2 legs. So they concede goals, but then again they scored 5. So they scored 4 goals, and I think it might be a situation where they just tried to outscore us on the day. I mean, the likes of Haaland, Sancho, Hazard, Royce, they've just got like their attackers. They're just crazy, literally crazy. So we're going to have to be so defensively strong against them, because I know that they'll probably score against us. But it's just about us also being clinical on the day, because we can see they leak goals. So we need to create chances, but we also need to score our chances as well on the day. So I do think with the form that we're in that we should, be able to beat them. But the Champions League is the Champions League. I've seen crazy things happen, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope that we can. What about you?
I think obviously in the draw there's no easy team. It's the quarterfinal, so there's no easy team. However, obviously there are more preferable teams. I agree with you. I think Porto, simply because we've played them before this season, I think we would kind of know how they're going to set up. We would know kind of what they're going to do. And we have beaten them at home, and we drew with them away. So, we've shown that we can kind of beat them this season. I think they would have been the most familiar for that reason. I didn't want an English team. I agree with you. I think Chelsea looked strong. I think Liverpool in the Champions League looked very strong. So, I definitely wanted to avoid them too. And I think Madrid, we knocked them out last season. They don't look quite as good as they were. I still think they have that Champions League sort of drive, but then we did knock them out. So they're clearly not unbeatable at the moment. I think Dortmund are a difficult side to play. Their attack is very, very good. I think Haaland is going to cause us a lot of problems. Obviously, he's going to want to prove that he is at that level that he's, being told that he's at the moment. He obviously, if he does want to move to the Premier League again, it's an advertisement. Look at me. I can do it against Premier League sides. So, he's going to have a lot to prove, and I think he will cause us a lot of problems. Sancho, another one, he wants to prove to Man City that he was good enough for us. So he's going to want to play really well. So I think it is going to be very hard for us. I do agree with you. Their defense leaks a lot of goals. I think the problem that Man City have had in previous seasons is that we always conceded loads of goals. So we would score quite a few goals. We've never had a problem scoring. It's never been a problem in the Champions League, but we conceded so many at the other end. And I think this season we've kept 7 clean sheets in a row against decent opposition. I think we can get past if our defense is strong, and I think if we are clinical at the other end. I think Sevilla and them was like 5-4, and they went through an aggregate 5-4. So they've shown that they can concede a lot as well as scoring a lot. So I think City just need to be tight at the back. and just take our chances when they come. And I think that's the only way we're going to get through. But yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely not an easy draw. And then obviously, if we do get past Dortmund, then we've got the lovely choice between PSG, you know, the last season's runners-up, against last season's winners, Bayern Munich. So, yeah, which of them two do you think are going to win that game? Their game, PSG, Bayern.
I think Bayern Munich will win, but I do think PSG are going to literally play like for their lives. I think they really in the Champions League, they really do, and obviously I'm sure they're really upset that they got Bayern Munich, because it's like they're basically the only can kind of stop them, apart from maybe City. So not happy about that, but I do think that Bayern Munich are just the best team in the competition at the moment, and I still think that Bayern Munich will probably win it. So I expect Bayern Munich to still beat PSG. Yeah. What about you?
Think my favourites for the competition were PSG. I thought PSG were going to win it this year. I thought they got to a final last year. They've definitely got the players to do it, and yeah, I thought they'll go and do it this season. That being said, I also thought that Bayern Munich might go out a little bit earlier, because I didn't think they would retain it. But it's looking like, I think if you put them two teams together and look at both teams, PSG, fantastic going forward. You know, Mbappe on his day can mash up anyone. I've seen it with my own eyes at the Etihad. So yeah, Mbappe is Mbappe. But I think at the same time, if you watch that Barcelona game, they did concede quite a lot of chances, and Barcelona, Dembele in particular, was just missing everything. Like, Messi scored, obviously, but they were just missing stuff. They missed a penalty. Like, there was chances in that game for Barcelona to kind of come back. And I think if that's a different team, they do come back. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think Bayern Munich also have problems in their defence. I think they concede a lot of goals at the moment, especially this season. So it depends on sort of, I think, similarly to Man City, I think it depends on how their defence plays and how clinical their attack are. But I think Lewandowski, man, he can just, he can just score goals. Like, you know, they could be 4-0 down and he'll score 5. Yeah. So I do think that in that fixture, Bayern Munich will go through over 2 legs. So even though I did think PSG might win it against Bayern Munich, I think that had to be the final for PSG to have a chance, I think, and it's not. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It wouldn't surprise me if PSG went through. I definitely wouldn't be shocked. But I think Bayern Munich just, I think they're kind of like Liverpool a little bit, in that they don't have to be good in the league. When it comes to the Champions League, they're something else. So for that reason, you know, PSG, they're kind of a bit up and down in terms of the Champions League, because they were like Man City. They used to struggle to get sort of anywhere. They'd get sort of to the round of 16 or maybe the quarterfinals, and they get kicked out. Last season was the first season that they actually went past the quarterfinals. Before that, City had a better record in Europe than them, which sounds crazy. But that was the case. So, yeah, I think if they get through, obviously, it depends. It depends. I think as a Man City fan, if we do beat Dortmund, I would actually prefer to play Bayern Munich over PSG. What do you think? If out of the two, which would you pick?
Well, out of Bayern and PSG.
Yeah.
Yeah, PSG. Because no, I've seen us beat PSG before. Like, beating Bayern Munich, I think I remember that time when, you know, Aguero scored the hat trick, and I think we beat them like 3. I remember that's like I remember. But PSG, I think Bayern Munich, I think for me, yes, they leak goals, but that attack, I don't know how our defenders. I said this before, like Haaland and Sancho and Royce, like that's enough. But to have Bayern that, honestly, I've said this before. Like, we have a solid defense, but they're going to be like attacked against Dortmund, and if we get past Dortmund, they're going to be attacked against. You know, yeah, it's
it's a hard one because it's like Bayern Munich for me. Like one, I think we've beaten both of them in the past, so it's not one of them where we're like Lyon, where we hadn't beaten Lyon, and we went into that game thinking, you know, we haven't beaten them before. We have. But I feel like Bayern Munich, Pep knows them inside out. So I think that might work in our favour. We've seen it with Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona right now aren't what they once were. But the first time that we beat them, Barcelona were favourites to win that game. And it's sort of like Pep kind of knew what to do against Barcelona. And I feel like he would know what to do against Bayern Munich. Whether it would work or not is a different thing. But I think he would know what to do. Whereas PSG, I'm not so sure. I feel like we wouldn't know particularly what to do as much. And obviously Pochettino knocked us out with Spurs. So, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's one of them that could go either way, regardless of who get. I think all three potential fixtures. So obviously Dortmund, I think that could go either way. I think Bayern and PSG could go either way, and I think City against PSG or Bayern could go either way. Or Dortmund versus Bayern Munich or PSG could go either way. Because I think if Dortmund beat Man City, they're like going into that next game with confidence. So who's to say they couldn't go all the way? So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, we'll have to see. I didn't want an English team in the final. I think Chelsea are in that final already, personally.
Same.
Yeah. So how do you think the other fixtures are going to go? So obviously Liverpool, Real Madrid, and then Chelsea, Porto.
Do you know what's crazy? I actually expect Liverpool to beat Real Madrid.
Yeah, I do.
Liverpool, yes, they're not doing that well in the Premier League, but you know, I think because they've won the Champions League before, they know what it's about. They've knocked us out before. They've knocked out Barcelona before. I think that they will just have that drive. I think, and you know, they just know how to do it. They have that know-how basically. So and also they're even starting to get a lot of their players back who are injured as well. So I expect them to beat Real Madrid over the two legs. Real Madrid are just the same. I don't know. Obviously, since Ronaldo's left, it's not the same Real Madrid. Let's be honest. I think Liverpool, they're through. In terms of Chelsea, it's crazy because everyone wanted Porto, but I don't think Porto are going to be that easy.
Yeah, they're not. No, they're
not. I do expect Chelsea to go through over the two legs, but I'm sure Porto are looking at Chelsea like this is one of the easier teams, you know, league to actually face. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but like you said, I do think over the two legs, Chelsea should go through. I think defensively, they've improved so much. They barely let you get a chance, let alone goal. So I expect them to go through. So imagine Chelsea and Liverpool in the semis.
I think that's the semi-final. I think that's nailed on, that semi-final.
Yeah.
I really do. I'd be very, very, very surprised if it's Porto, Liverpool.
Who do you think?
Or Chelsea, Real Madrid. I'd be very, very surprised.
So do you think Chelsea will beat Liverpool in the semis?
Yeah, I think they will. Do you know what? That game could go either way. But I do think that Chelsea, with their defence, with the manager they have, I know Klopp's a quality manager, but it's sort of like the thing is with Klopp is he's had this squad like working like clockwork to beat everyone. And I think with the team that he has against the Chelsea team that Tuchel has, I do think that Chelsea would beat Liverpool over two legs. But yeah, it is one of them things where it could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool beat Chelsea. You know, the same way I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea beat Liverpool. I think that would be a good semi-final. Obviously, I don't want it to happen. I want it to be, if City beat Dortmund, I want it to be Porto, Madrid, because I don't want to face Liverpool or Chelsea in the final. But yeah, I think it will be an interesting game. But yeah, I think that's nailed on. I think it's our side of things.
Yeah.
That is a little bit more up in the air about who's going to go through and who's going to progress. But I think I just can't see Real Madrid, even though on paper they should be doing it. If you look squad to squad, they should be doing it. But it's mad. And then it's like the final, like, I think if we were another team, like even if we were Chelsea, I'd be like, yeah, I'm all up for it. Because we haven't won the Champions League before, to get to a final, like Chelsea did against Man United, like to get to that final where you're like, yes, we've got a chance, and it's an English side. It's just, I don't know if I could watch it, to be honest. Like, that's gonna be nervy. Whereas if we played like Real Madrid or Porto, it's kind of like, even if we got beat, I don't think it would be as bad as getting beat by Chelsea or Liverpool. Like, it's mad. It's mad. But yeah, I don't know. I'll get to some of the comments and then we'll discuss it more. Lucky Duck says, nice one, Yang. Good luck with this. Thank you very much. RM Productions, like the video, guys, if you haven't already. Says, big up the show. Taekwon says, Dortmund can play on counter-attack. If you guys set up like how you did against United, they will hit you on the break. There's no way we play like that in Europe. We don't play like that. Man like MB, big up to Jan and Rose each and every time. Ravi says, I think you guys will win 3-1 tonight. We'll move on to that in a sec. Ryan says, big up the beautiful Rose and my beautiful, beautiful flower, my two favourite City fans. You'll easily beat Bottle Job FC. Do you know what some City fans said on Twitter? They were like, this is the clash of the bottle jobs. He's like, they're both going to try and bottle it and it'll finish 7-7 on aggregate. It's like, what the hell? Do you know what? It's mad. Laporte Bread says, Dortmund versus City gives me Monaco versus City vibes. Not going to lie. I hope not. I hope that our defence has improved from then. But, geez. But do you know what? I can't lie. That Man City versus Monaco game at the Etihad is the best game I've ever seen. It was beautiful. Like, for the neutral, it must have been amazing because I, as a City fan, really enjoyed that game. And we were getting, that was very end-to-end, I have to say. Ryan thinks City will rip Dortmund apart. It's not. It'll be close if we go through. Liverpool are a mid-table club. The thing is, Zayn, is that Liverpool in the Champions League and Liverpool in the Premier League are two different things. Like, you get teams that perform in Europe, but in the Prem, they're not too good. It's always been the case. And if you look at the times when English teams have won the Champions League, they're not normally at the top of the league. So it's interesting. Ryan said, Rose, do you think Liverpool will get past Madrid? Jan is being a jinx because she keeps saying we'll win. We've already kind of touched on that.
I do.
Man like MB says, Jan, Bayern can be got at, in my opinion. They play a ridiculous high line. For me, it's about how you exploit it. However, going forward, there's something else. I agree. It's going to be on our defence and our attack being clinical enough. Definitely. I think against Bayern Munich, if we can keep it tight at the back and keep a clean sheet, maybe at home, if we can do that at home, even if it's 0-0, that puts us sort of at an advantage to go to Bayern Munich. Because that means if we draw, we go through. Obviously, if it's 1-1 or 2-2 or whatever, we go through. So I think if we can do that, we have a chance. But we just need to not let them get. Because I remember in that Monaco game, even though we won 5-3, the minute the third goal went in, I was like, we're not going to go through. And it was because we conceded 3 away goals. And I knew 3 away goals was going to be too many to come back from. And that is what knocked us out. We went out on 6-6 on aggregate. And it was them 3 goals at home that cost us. So we would definitely need to do the same sort of thing against Bayern. Our record against Bayern is quite weird, actually, because they've been better than us on paper for the whole time we've been in the Champions League. And our record against them is 3 wins, 3 losses. So it's not quite, I know some of them are group stage games and people say, oh, they don't care. They do care. Big teams care about winning every single game. They do. So yeah, we'll have to see, obviously, what happens if we do get there and they get there. Ryan said, Bayern's attack is still absolutely frightening, but they concede a lot of chances. They don't have Thiago controlling games anymore. PSG will beat Bayern over 2 legs. Neymar, potentially. Because that final was a little bit... They could have won, you know, really, if they took their chances. Yeah, big up to Man Like MB. Man Like MB says, hit the like and get those likes up and share the video. Thank you. Ryan says, City will be absolutely fine against Dortmund. No need to worry, Flower. Real Madrid know how to do the Champions League thing as well. Yeah, but you don't rate Gabby, who knocked them out through home and away goals. So, you know, if Gabby can do it, why can't Mohamed Salah? Bits and Bobs says, come on the Taffies. There's no need to hate, darling. Carl is in the building. He says, hi, Annika. You assume Liverpool and Chelsea are going through. I would expect them to get through, just based on who they've drawn. If they don't go through, that is fine by me. But yeah, I think they'll go through. Carl says we will batter any of them in the final. You know what? City are good in finals, I have to say, no matter who we come up against.
We got to get there first.
But yeah, we have to get there. And you know what? A lot of people lose the Champions League final before they win it. A lot of teams do that. So yeah, I think we're making steps in the right direction anyway. And you know, we'll see if we beat Dortmund. We've done better than we've done in previous seasons. So that's all I expect from Man City. I don't expect us to go from going out in the quarter to Lyon to win in the competition. I think that's a bit of a big step. You know, it's kind of like finishing 6th in the Prem and then being expected to go and win it the next season. Like, it's not really what I would expect. As much as I'd love it to happen, I wouldn't expect it. Camasola says, it's Real Madrid, they will get through. Yeah, but they didn't last season, so I don't know. Ryan says, who would you rather play in the final, Liverpool or Chelsea?
Oof. Oh my.
It's like choosing between a hard place, isn't it?
Jeez. Final, I think I'd rather play Chelsea, you know. About Klopp. There's something about Klopp and finals and yeah.
I would definitely rather play Chelsea than Liverpool.
Yeah.
Even though I think that this season, Chelsea are better under their new manager. I'd say they're better than Liverpool right now. Mm-hmm. But it's Liverpool in Champions League finals. And I just think, and what people forget as well is, as much as we talk about clubs winning it before, them players have won it before.
Yeah.
Apart from their young defenders in defence, obviously, which I think City realistically should be beating Liverpool with the squad that they have right now. Mm-hmm. But them players have done it before. Man City players haven't. You know, there's only Gundogan who's been to a Champions League final and he lost, you know. But to be fair to him, he did score a penalty in the final. So it says it all. But I'd expect our players to turn up and want it. And I would expect to see a good performance from City if we do get to the final. But yeah, I would much rather have a foreign side in the final, if I'm being honest, if we get there, you know. But I think if City get past Dortmund and then get past PSG or Bayern Munich, I would expect Man City to go on and win that final, because there isn't anyone in the competition harder than PSG or Bayern. So if we do that, I would expect us to go and win the final. But yeah, got to get there first. Carl thinks Madrid will get to the final. I think they're another team where a lot of them players have won it. So it's going to be a little bit sticky if we do get there. I wouldn't say City are favourites for that. Oh, he's talking about Everton. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. But, you know, I think they've got a good chance of winning this FA Cup. I was there that day. Yeah, it was great. Abdallah said, Dortmund have no defence and no Sancho for both legs, possibly. Oh, I didn't know that he was out. I didn't know he was out. That does make a difference. So we'll see. 1 minute. I agree with this. I think Chelsea are already in. I'd be very surprised if Chelsea out in the final. I would be very surprised. Yeah, Taekwon says Liverpool have won the Champions League before without finishing the top 4. Exactly.
Yeah.
If we win the Champions League, I'll get a Salah tattoo. Good luck with that. You know, he probably will as well. Abdallah says Chelsea will win it. I agree. I think they're favourites.
Yeah.
I think they're favourites.
I think they could win it, yeah.
Are you scared of Haaland now?
Yeah. Of course.
I rate Haaland very, very, very highly. So yeah. City fans need to be brave. We need to be brave and believe we can win. I think we can win. I don't think it matters who we play. I think with Man City, it depends which Man City turn up. If Premier League Man City, Carabao Cup final, FA Cup final, Man City turn up, we've got every chance. If the sort of Champions League, overthinking it, just heads gone, sort of Man City turn up, then anyone can knock us out. That's the reality of it. So Man City just need to go and do. I did mention earlier that, I feel like with Pep, when he first came, he wanted to play this style of football, which he did. He went for it, everything like that. And he played this beautiful football. It wasn't quite working. You could see what he was trying to do, but it wasn't quite working. We went and got Liverpool in the Champions League. We played our normal game of football. We had 10 terrible minutes at the start of the game where we weren't quite in the game yet at Anfield, where we never win at that point. And Liverpool scored 3 goals. And it was kind of tie over before it started. And then we tried to come back. We did very well. I think if we played an extra 10 minutes, the scoreline would have been different because Man City at the end were dominating the game. Then the second leg, obviously, we're already got a hill to climb because they've got away goals. We went for it and they just got a goal. And once they got a goal, it was pretty much over. So there's not really much we could do after that. So yeah, I think it was a bit of a mess. Then we played Tottenham again, same thing. Played on normal football, got beat. So I think the first leg we didn't. The first leg we were a bit conscious and we lost 1-0, yeah. But the second leg we played on normal football and we got knocked out. So then Pep started overthinking it. So that's why we had the results against Lyon, because he was overthinking what he's going to do. And when he overthinks, we don't do well. So I think if we play the way we played against Monaco and we play the way we did against Liverpool, we'll be fine. If we play the way we did against Tottenham in the first leg or Lyon, we're going to really struggle big time. So I think it is on Pep a little bit. It's also on the players. You can't have players missing open nets in knockout stages. You just can't. And for me personally, I would start that same team that he started against Mönchengladbach in the second leg. Because that team, Phil Foden is fearless. Sterling overthinks everything, especially in them big games. As good as he's been for us in the Champions League, I can't deny that. I think when the pressure hits, he goes under a little bit, whereas I don't think Foden cares. That's just the way I see it. So I would personally start that squad and see what happens. So yeah, Malcolm says, big up my baby and Rose, big up to you. Oh, babes and Rose, he meant. Liverpool is shite. The only reason they won the Champions League is because Spurs are in West. To be fair, I think if they play anyone else in that final and play like that,
yeah,
they don't win that final. So I do agree with that in a way. Ravi said Manchester City. Ryan says if City get to the final, just hand them the trophy. It's fine. I don't think it's quite that simple. If we do get there, and like everybody says, Jan, do you think the players have a mental block when it comes to Europe as well as Pep overthinking things? I think it's just the thing that we haven't won it before, and they have to push through that. You know, you've seen it with Spurs. Spurs have this bottling mentality, and it's kind of like the players need to push through it. Man City had that until we won the FA Cup. Yaya Toure didn't have that. Yaya Toure had been there, done that, won things before. He came through, and he won that game by himself, if we're being honest. That semi-final against Man United and that game against Stoke, he put the ball in from so far out. It was very similar in the way that he won that game. And once you win, you get that hunger for it. And that's why I'm hoping that Man City don't lose to Tottenham, because I think if we do that, that could push them on to maybe win more stuff. And I don't want that to happen. So just gotta be the same way as well. I agree. I think if we win the Champions League, I think we win it again within the next sort of 5 years. I honestly do. I think if we get one, we'll get more than one. I'm not saying back to back or anything like that, but I think in the next 5 years, we could more than likely get another one. So that's the same as I'm saying for Tottenham. I think it's the same for these other teams. They don't want Man City to win it. So yeah, I think it's interesting. We'll get on to Everton because obviously it does kick off in like 25 minutes. So we'll get on to Everton. It's at 5:30 to just after this, basically. So yeah, Everton FA Cup. Our starting lineup is Stefan, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko at back, Fernandinho as captain, Gundogan, Bernardo, Sterling, Foden, and Gabby. So that's our starting lineup. What do you think of the lineup?
No, I told you just off camera that yeah, like I'm happy that, you know, we've gone with a strong team. I mean, I thought we were going to start maybe Nathan Aki, maybe a Garcia as well. But no, I'm happy with the team. Our bench is just strong as well. So yeah, I'm excited. The only thing is we've got Everton. So, and it depends on what Everton turns up today. I've said this before. I think the fact that Everton, you know, probably won't get top 5. So I think they're going to see this as an avenue as to getting into Europe. I can see, you know, really trying to go for this FA Cup. And, you know, but then again, I feel like they're so inconsistent this season. I don't know what Everton's going to turn up. Is it going to be the one that was great against Liverpool, or is it going to be the one that was poor against Fulham? I don't know. And I think they've got quite a number of injuries as well. I think they've got like 6 injuries. And, you know, they including the likes of Pickford, Ames and Doucouré. And I think Doucouré is going to be a massive miss for them. I think he's so good at breaking up play. So I do think that City should win this match. Based on our form and, you know, and based on the fact that Everton do concede a number of goals and, you know, they've got injuries as well. But I still expect it to be a tough match for us. I mean, they've still got Richarlison and I think they've still got Calvert-Lewin as well. So they're going to still, you know, be quite threatening. But yeah, hopefully we can, you know, get the job done today. And I think we'll win 3-1. Yeah.
Okay. Their lineup is Virginia in net, I think. Coleman as captain, Godfrey, Holgate, Mina, Digne, Allen, Gomez, Calvert-Lewin, Sigurdsson, and Richarlison. So, yeah, they have a very strong squad. I don't know, because obviously we played them recently at Goodison Park, and it was actually 3-1. The first half was kind of a bit end to end. It was 1-1 when we went in at half time. I thought we're not going to win. Thought we'd drop points that night. And we came out in the second half and we were brilliant. So, yeah, I don't know. I do agree. I actually thought before the season started, and I've said this since before the season started, I thought Everton would win it this year. Under Ancelotti, the players they have, I thought they would have a good chance of winning it. Obviously, if they do that, that means knocking us out. But I do think Man City should be, you know, progressing. I don't know what scoreline it will be. Maybe a 2-1 City. I think it'll be quite close. But yeah, I would expect Man City to kind of go through at this stage. Our squad is decent. I feel like our team is decent in general. So whoever we put out is good. I do like when we play with a false 9. Personally, like that's when I feel like my most confident. But yeah, Gabs is Gabs in it, and I think he scored there last time. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Samson says hi, Rose. 1 second, just see if people have put any. Let us know your predictions, and I'll put it up. So yeah, Mustafa thinks a Dominic Calvert-Lewandowski hat trick incoming.
I hope not.
Man like MB says, Jan, just keep the FA Cup warm for us, innit? We're only borrowing it to you as we won it too much and became fed up. Do you know what? It's interesting, actually, because the FA Cup is not a competition that Man City have done too well in. It's kind of the opposite of the Carabao Cup. The Carabao Cup, we go into that, we do well, we tend to win it. It's one of them things. The FA Cup is a little bit touch and go. Obviously, we won the final against Stoke. That was our first trophy in years, like 30-something years. So yeah, we obviously won that. And then we kind of didn't win it again until Pep came and we did the domestic treble. We got to a final against Wigan and we lost under Mancini. So yeah, it's one of them things. I think it's not been our most favourable competition. So yeah, I'm not always too confident in the FA Cup. I do think this whole quad talk is putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on a team that why would they be expected to do it when the Man United teams that were killing it all over the world weren't expected to do it. I just think it's a little bit unfair to kind of put that on the players and stuff. And I'm hoping the players take that as they're up for it and they go for it. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of pressure that we don't really need, to be honest. I'd rather just take every game as it comes and hope for the best in that game. Neek says, up the toughies. How do you know if they knock out Man City, why can't they knock out Man United? That's the question. Mustafa said, Jan, would you take Sancho back or keep Sterling? I would keep Sterling. How about you, Riz?
I'll keep Sterling. At least Sterling wants to play for us. Sancho, like he wanted to leave, so I only like play for us. So yeah, Sterling all day.
Yeah, I think it's one of them things. He said that he wanted to leave because he was homesick, and then he went to Germany. So says it all, really. But not only did he leave, he actually refused to go to training and stuff like that. So Pep wouldn't have him in the team. I don't know if he did that to get City to give him what he wanted, but it's not going to work with Pep. Like, you're not going to threaten Pep and expect Pep to take you. It's just not going to happen. It backfired on him in the fact that he never got into City, but then obviously it's pushed him onto probably better things, because I think at City he doesn't play every week like he does for Dortmund. So he's gone to the right place, to be honest. I think he probably picked the best team he could have picked. Because I think even if he joins Man United at that stage, he doesn't feature too much at that time. So yeah, I think he's made the right decision. I think City probably made the right decision as well at the time. So yeah, I feel more gutted about kind of losing Sane than I do about losing Sancho personally, because at that time he was a talent. He wasn't proven. Now it's a different story, but back then he wasn't proven yet. If Chelsea win the Champions League, who do you think will get the most banter, United or Arsenal? I don't know. They've already won it. Arsenal haven't won it, so that's the same argument. We've won it twice. You've not won it. Man United now, they're breathing down their necks. If they win it twice, I think they win it again before Man United win it again. So so Man United are under pressure because they could end up matching their title. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Liverpool. Liverpool winning the Premier League is more dangerous to Man United than Man City, because if Man City win it, we go up to 7 this year. If Liverpool win it, they match them on 20 titles. So things like that, I think they'll both get bantered, but I think it's worse for Man United than it is for Arsenal. It's kind of like Liverpool. To me, Liverpool winning the Champions League, yeah, it's not great, but they've got 6 already. What's the difference between 6 and 7? Don't really make no difference to me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think I feel less bothered if Liverpool win it than Chelsea, simply because Chelsea have won. So if Man City ever win it, or when we do win it, we'll be on 1 with Chelsea. Whereas if they go to 2, we'd have to win it twice, which pushes it a little bit. So yeah, I think 7. We're not going to catch Liverpool anytime soon, if ever. So yeah, it's one of them. I agree with this, Ryan. He says, to be fair to City, if that Leon tie was over 2 legs, City would have gone through. I agree. Definitely. We were better than them in that game. Carl says, UCL final front 3, Foden, De Bruyne and Mahrez. I agree with that. Well done, ladies. Pep's won it twice. We will be fine. He has. I think most of the criticism right now is that he's not getting further in the competition. So I think if he does get to the semi, that's progress. It is progress, you know. People talk about a Man United making progress, like, not really, considering where they were. Whereas Man City in the Champions League, the furthest we've got to was a semi where both us and Real Madrid had 0 shots on target in both legs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So, yeah, progress at least. Because I actually think when we got to the semi last time, I think City were not half as good as they are now in terms of the football that we were playing and the team that we had and stuff like that. Don't think we were that good. We had sort of individual brilliance, kind of like Man United. We had David Silva, we had Sergio Aguero, we had Vincent Kompany. You know, Joe Hart was always good in Champions League games. So we had them sort of players there, but we didn't have a quality team all round. It was kind of like individuals that were brilliant in a squad. So I think City probably would have more of a chance if we do go further than we did back then. Gabby says, hello, big up Gabby. I hope you score a hat-trick today. Charlie's reminding everyone that we're top of the league. Let's see. 1 second. Just go down. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find all your things because it's just scrolled me all the way down. Okay. Nick says our squad is decent. Talk about understatement. Do you know what? Every time I use the word decent, people get offended. Like, decent to me is really, really good. But people say it as like I'm saying, like that City aren't good. Like, we have the best squad in the league, definitely. Ryan said Jan feels at her most confident when they play a false 9 because Cavs doesn't play. It's not because of that. Everton are at home. Man like MB says 3-0 City. Interesting. Valvishwan, right? Valvishwan, for starters, you rate Nat Phillips and Kabak as being really, really good. So you can't throw shots at Ruben Diaz for starters. Tahar says he thinks 2-1 Everton. Possible. Ado VAR Barcelona says Everton 2-0 City. Ryan says, I'm getting so sick of our fans calling him Virgil van Kabak. He's so dopey, shit defender. You said it, not me. To be honest, he's been decent, actually, in your last few games, actually. I can't lie. But yeah, probably not on the level of Ruben Diaz. Marlon Daly says, City 3-1 Everton. That was the score last time. Then they're talking about them winning it. Taekwon says 4-1 City. Ancelotti's probably going to show Man City respect and sit deep. It will be a case of Man City just trying to break them down. Our record against Everton is a strange one because there's been times where we go there and it's almost easy for us, and then there's other times where they just completely terrorize us. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's not unfair. I don't know what you're talking about there, but there's a lot of clubs that have spent money and haven't won the Champions League, including the team that everyone's bigging up, PSG, but it is what it is. Ryan says Barcelona have more chance to win the Champions League than us, as they're not even in it, and they're not even in it anymore. Nah, you've got a chance. You definitely have a chance. Everton ain't touching us. Yeah, we said that about Sheffield United and it didn't go that way. So it is what it is.
Oh, God.
Sancho is clear as Sterling. Sterling's overrated. Don't think he's quite clear as Sterling. I think Sterling in Dortmund, is a different beast. Sterling is actually so underrated. Like, it's unreal. Like, people actually just disrespect him all the time, because when he has a bad game, people are like, oh, he's not good. Like, the intelligence that's needed to get into the positions that Sterling gets into to miss, you know, as people take the piss out of him for missing, but he's a very good player. His finishing, I agree, he needs to improve on. And that's why, like I said earlier, I probably wouldn't put Sterling in a Champions League final over like a Foden, because I think Foden's finishing has been better than Sterling's right now. But he would cause a lot of problems if he did play. And he's you know what? He's got a decent record for us in the Champions League, so can't really fault him. He's definitely underrated. I'm not saying I rate him as one of the best ever, but he's definitely underrated. Sane was class at City. Sane loved a big game, man. Big game. That's why Champions League final, I didn't want to see him there. And obviously that's impossible now. It's going to be a semi at best. So, yeah, I think people are a bit hyperactive about that. Ryan said, Leroy Sane is one of the best wingers in the world. I wish he was our right winger. Yeah, you know what? Neek Sport says, no, Yannicka, it's worse for Arsenal as London rivals. Chelsea are not our rivals. True that, actually. City, the best team in the land, or all the world, he means. Chelsea can't banter us. Yeah, I think they'll try, though. 1 second. At Rose, if City win the Champions League, will it be the hardest ever Champions League win? Nick's asking you.
No, I think I've said this before. Like, if we do get to the final, I expect City to just put in their all. I think the fact that, you know, we've actually gotten there, like you said before, the furthest we've gotten is the semi-final. So I feel like just that mental block, that mental hurdle of just getting to the final, I just don't see City like just playing crap in the final. I see City, this is the only opportunity that we have. This is like our best ever opportunity. So I expect City to just put in their all, and I think I expect us to, you know, win a final. I think obviously if we get Liverpool, then I don't know, because obviously I feel like Klopp is a manager that can he's kind of a genius as well. It's like a chess thing. I feel like he's one of their managers that can, you know, maybe outclass Pep on the day just based on tactics. I think that's I don't want Liverpool in the final. That's all I'm saying. But if you get anyone else by Liverpool in the final, I expect City to win.
Yeah, I think like I said before, it's one of them things. City against the sort of teams that you expect them to lose to, tend to do all right. Like, how many finals have we been in now? Obviously not Champions League, but how many cup finals have we been in where at the beginning of our thing where we weren't favourites? You know what I mean? And we've gone into games and we've won them games that we, you know, were kind of not expected to win. Like, we've had quite a few against Chelsea where Chelsea are a cup, like they win cups like it's nothing. Even when they're bad, they still win cups. And they've still, you know, we've beaten Chelsea. Obviously, I think it went to pens. Liverpool in 2016. Yes, okay, Man City were, I'd say, the better team at that time, but they still had threat, you know, to beat us. And we weren't exactly clear favourites for that final. And again, we won. So I don't know. I think Man City in finals, we are very good. Obviously, that Wigan game kind of froze it a little bit because, you know, we did lose to Wigan. But that day, the team didn't actually turn up. I'd expect them, like you say, to turn up for a Champions League final, especially under Pep. He's not going to allow them to kind of play the way Man City played against Wigan. Like, I just can't see that. So, yeah, I'd expect us to give it a good go if we do get there. Whether we win it or not, like I said, is another story, but I'd expect us to at least give it our all, and I think that's the best we can do. You know, as a minimum, and then I would expect Man City to at least try and win it. Whether obviously the other team are better on the day or whatever, that remains to be said. But I think definitely I would expect us to turn up and give it a shot. You know, the same for any team, really. If you get to a final, you have to turn up. I don't understand what Spurs were doing in the final. I don't want to see anything like that from Man City. because that was ridiculous. Big up to Ryan every time. He says, love watching the two beautiful queens of YouTube. Love that. Deleted Tots in the building. He says, big up everyone. Big up to you. Neek says, getting to and losing in the semis is not progress. Pep is a winner in the Champions League. Winning is the only thing that matters. I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, it is progress from what we've done previously. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Man like MB says, Yam, would you take Martinez from Inter as a replacement for Aguero should he leave? I haven't actually watched him too much to even know. I hear that he's a little bit like Aguero, but then other people are telling me he's not like Aguero. He's different. So I honestly don't know. My number one target will be Haaland. The good thing about us drawing Dortmund is I know for a fact if Dortmund play well against Man City and Haaland has a masterclass against Man City, them owners are going for Haaland. Because remember when we played Monaco and they went all out for Benjamin Mendy and Bernardo Silva, them two mashed us up differently in that game and we went and got him. So I think if Haaland plays well,
yeah, we go and get him.
Haaland at City. More so than if we didn't play Dortmund. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it'd be nice to see Haaland. What do you think? Would you take Martinez?
Do you know what? Like when I've watched Inter Milan this season, I think I've just mostly seen Lukaku.
Yeah.
I think I've really seen like when Martinez has been like great. I think I've just seen Lukaku more. So yeah, like you, I don't know. I've heard, you know, he could like replace Aguero, but I've not really seen too much of him yet to decide. I think your number one target definitely is Haaland. I've said I wouldn't even mind going for Felix as well because I feel like Felix at Atletico Madrid would be a fantastic false number 9 for us. But we can't. We're not going to pay that fee for him. He's
crazy.
So I think right now our only option is Haaland. I mean, I've heard some people saying that we might go in for Kane. Do you think Kane? I don't
think I want Kane. I'm not saying he's not a good player and he would do bits for Man City. He actually would, but no. I'd rather have someone that's a lot younger for the same price, personally. Just because, especially because he suffers from injuries. Because you know what we're like? You get players that have never been injured coming to Man City and going out. So, yeah, he's only going to get worse at City. And, yeah, I'm not really here for it. He's 28. We're trying to build a young squad. So, yeah, not really for me. Obviously, we're going to wrap up in a minute. Neek says Everton 2-1. Marlon says City 3-1 Everton. People are hoping that Diaz has a disaster class. Is what it is. I'm going to do Yannicka online too many shots today. It's cool. You know how we are. It's what it is. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just seeing if there's any comments that I need to pull up. It's what it is. Yeah. Do you know what? This is the sort of thing that City would probably do, which I bloody hope not. But yeah, Ryan thinks that Martinez is a bit overrated. The thing is, Mendy, when Mendy came in, Mendy was good. And then he got a bad injury and it's changed the way he plays. He's still got moments of quality. That's why, you know, Van Dijk had the same injury, you know. Sane had the same injury. Sane has come back a little bit, but he's still not at his best. It takes a while, you know. And I think for Mendy's sake, he should probably move on just so he can start again. Because I think he's always going to be under a lot of pressure at Man City to perform at the high level every week. Taekwon says Haaland wants 350k a week. Would Man City break their wage structure for him? Potentially. I don't know who Adovar Barcelona is, but I can guarantee that your team are not doing as well as my team. So he's not going to join City. He supports Man City in it. So it is what it is. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. and join the membership if you haven't already. And we will see you in a second. Actually, I'm going to do a watch along in about 3 minutes time. So yeah, go over to there, like the video, and I'll be over shortly. We'll see you guys later.